Hello, and welcome to another episode of Whose Turn Is It Anyway, where we invite you to join our gaming group and talk about all things cardboard and meeples. Today, I am joined with Becky.
Hello.
And our very, very special guest, Stewart.
Good evening.
He's getting full into character, which leads us nicely into this week's topic. But I'm going to ask you first, how are you both doing?
I'm good, thank you. A bit sort of damp because it's very, very wet outside.
It is horrible, isn't it?
Absolutely hoofing down. Yep, but that's fine.
Good. Stu?
Yeah, I mean, not bad. I mean, it's nice to be back, if only to prove that you can have too much of a good thing.
You can. It is possible, people. And with that, let's move on to Let's Talk About Hex. Stu, as our very special guest, I'd like to start with you. What have you been playing, mate?
I have literally come this evening from playing Ada's Dream. So that got delivered the other week. And I've just got that out, had a two-handed play and about to start the solo on that.
Nice.
Very good.
Nice. It looks quite pretty.
It is very visual. It's not as heavy as it looks like it should be, but it's a decent... There's lots of options, lots of ways to get points. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying that. And I had also just tried out the Tokaido Duo solo mode from Stonemaier Games as well.
Is there a solo mode for that?
Yeah,
is there?
Solo mode for the Duo and a solo mode for the main Tokaido game. And I've got them both now. So
that's really cool. Back to Ada's Dream. Is that the picture that you put on that's a table hog?
Yes.
Is it that one where you were like, I need a bigger table?
Yes.
How big is your table?
About the size of the one we're on right now.
Which is quite a hefty table.
2.4 by... I don't know, 1.
I mean, it's about 6 foot by 3 foot, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's 2-player. And if I tried to do 4-player, I'm going, yeah, not sure how I'm doing this.
Because what's Ada's Dream about?
So it's about Ada Lovelace, who is, in theory, the mother of computing. She was the first person to create it, but she died at the age of 36. She is the daughter of, or was it the granddaughter of Byron? No, she was the daughter of Byron.
Yeah.
The poet, and she was inventing this computing machine, and she worked with Babbage and other people, but she had a lot of health issues, so she didn't survive, but it would have been the first computer, and Turing used her designs.
She wrote the first kind of what's widely...
the punch card programs, were the first things. I mean, and the game does come with a little history booklet, so it does give you a little bit of background, which is quite nice. I do like like games that give you a little bit of extra beyond just the thing. And it's quite thematic. You're meeting patrons, you're gathering resources to build your computing machine, you're doing research. So yeah, it's got quite a thematic feel to it, and it is very pretty. And I've got the deluxe version, obviously.
Of course you did.
Of course I have. And there are some very nice blingy bits in it. I mean, the little books you use to publish, I mean, they are the best little books I've ever seen. And as for computer punch cards as actual components that you slot into your board, it's
that's
just
nice.
like, oh yes.
That's good. That is good.
I love it when any kind of medium, movies, books, when they kind of interlace reality with fantasy. There's a really good author, Simon Scarrow, does it really well with Ancient Rome, and Ben Aranovich, he does it with the Rivers of London book series. It's a similar thing where it's a fantasy world that's intermingled with real world, and I love it when things do like that. So the fact that you actually get programming cards,
they are very cool.
It's just another slight bit of immersion into it, isn't it? That really kind of brings it to life.
And it's completely unnecessary because you're putting the cogs into your machine and you're connecting it all up with the dice. I mean, I don't like dice games, but the dice are used as just a piece of resource, effectively. And you put these cards on the end to boost the score of those rows. You wouldn't need to do it. You could just put a token, you could just put anything, but you literally have a punch card, and they have all the different patterns and all the holes. They are just fantastic.
If we got rid of all the things we didn't need in board gaming, we'd be left with very little.
It would be cardboard and dice, and that'd be it. Yeah.
Some of them wouldn't even have dice, I don't think.
So, but yeah, it's got some very nice components. The metal coins are really nice as well. They've got a decent heft to them. So yeah, it's altogether it's a nice package, and the rule book's actually pretty decent.
What's that?
What?
A rule book.
Well, that's the weird thing about Ada's Dream. There's very little content for it. There was like a preview series about a year ago where they did a load of preview videos from various content creators. There are no how to play videos on BGG. And I've found one full playthrough, no solo playthroughs. And it's only just been delivered now. So you have to use the rulebook because there's just not enough there to learn the game.
Yeah. So kind of force down that avenue, which, like you said, if it's a good rule book, it isn't the end of the world.
I mean, I'd like an index because there's a lot of iconography and you will be flicking backwards and forwards on the first couple of games. But it's easy enough to follow and it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. And I know because I think JP and Davey had a play of it 2 Essens ago.
Possibly, yeah.
And I think they said they had a bad demo and they weren't sure about the game. And I'm thinking, I don't know how you bad demo this.
Because you've been walking around a hall for 3 days, you're exhausted and your feet hurt.
And you can't hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, but it's just, I'm just thinking, if they said the guy who was doing demo, it wasn't clear what they were trying to do. And I'm going, but it's actually pretty straightforward. So I don't know how you screw that up.
How can you mess that up? Well.
But I mean, it is what it is. I've never demoed, so, I don't know what I'm talking about. But, it's easy enough to pick up. And once you get used to it, and there are lots of little wombo bits, so, it's going to appeal to some people in our group.
I must admit, games like that a few years ago would have been like a hard no. I'm not interested. Thank you very much. But now, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, I would definitely like to.
And by cool, I mean like really nerdy.
It's lured me in with the fancy blingy bits, and then I'll stay for the game.
Yeah. You'll stay for the shiny bits, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Talking about shiny bits on games, Curly and JP played Hoplomachus. I don't know which one it was.
Was it Victorium?
The one with the heavy metal dice.
Yes.
Oh my God, those dice. They are so blush. Just holding them and then they roll so beautifully. And I think he said he got them as a present, so he didn't know how much they were exactly. It was whatever it was, they are absolutely worth it. Why can't they be used for other games? Because they've got like pictures of like, I think swords on or whatever. So it's not it's a D6. So I guess you could like get a pen and write numbers on it. But
why would you do that?
But they felt so nice. I was like, okay, tell me you're a nerd without telling me you're a nerd. These dice felt nice.
I'm just putting out there for any board game developer. If you want Becky to buy your game, just bling the hell out of it. And she will take it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a sucker for that.
Speaking of which, Becky, what have you been playing?
So, lately I've been genning up on Tenby. I'm going to play it fairly soon with another friend of the pod. And it's just a really lovely game. The artwork is so beautiful. So it's made by Cozy Cup Games. I think it's been recently distributed by, is it Mighty Boards, I think? So you can buy it. It is available, and it is a drafting kind of tableau building game, but you're building a street in Tenby, which is a lovely little Welsh village. So you've got cards that are town cards, so they've got pictures of houses on or businesses or whatever. You've got pier cards, which is kind of it's a pier on it, not obviously. You've got kind of landmarks, which might be, say, I don't know, statues, that kind of thing. And you have got residents, which is like your sort of, I don't know, like a VP multiplier or like an aim kind of a thing. So you're basically taking turns drafting certain cards and you're adding them to your street. So, for example, on the card you've drafted, maybe when you put it down, the cards left or right of them, if they've got birds on, you're going to score 1 point for a bird on the card left or right. So it's all about placement and it's about putting, it's like combo-y type stuff. But the really clever thing I liked about it is the turn order changes. So if you kind of decide what turn order you go, it's like a bidding mechanic sort of a thing. You've got if there's a 2-player game, you've got 3 options. You can decide which one you're going to get, which determines how many cards you draft or the kind of stuff you get. However, if it's a really good one, you're going to go last next time. So it's quite a good sort of catch-up mechanic. So you can't just go along and steamroller and just pick up loads of cards. You're then going to get the kind of, I don't want to say the scrapings, but you're not going to get the prime optimal choice next time. And the artwork is so beautiful. It's really, really, I don't want to say childish. It's really childlike. So it's really clear. And it reminds me, and I've just realised why I liked it. When I was a small child, there was like a learn your letters kind of a thing. And it was like A for apple, B for whatever. And N was nurse. And it's these really clear, lovely pictures. And it's like that. So it's like an outline drawing. The clouds have got little happy faces on. There's little birds in it, little seagulls, little lamps in the street. It's just really, really, I don't want to say twee, it's sweet and lovely.
I've only seen the front cover of the small box, because it's quite a small box game, right? It's not
fairly
big.
Small box, yeah.
And it reminds me of a Wish You Were Here picture. the old school wish you were here, colour scheme and
it's really lovely.
Yeah, and you've spoken about this in the past, and again, it's just the artwork seems
it's just so lovely.
Seems really really nice.
Really beautiful.
It seems like a really nice.
There's a walrus in it. It's just lovely. The guy that created it, Benji Talbot, he's a really nice guy. He let us have a copy of the game as like a prototype that we had to send to another group, and bless him, he sent me a copy of the game, which was really really lovely of him. He absolutely didn't need to do that. I was 100% going to buy it. So I'm really glad that it's been picked up by a big distributor because everyone should play this game.
Awesome.
So yeah, even Curly liked it.
Wow.
Even Curly liked it.
Curly likes a lot of games.
I know, but I didn't. He was going to play it with me because I wanted to have tried the game, and he was like, "Oh, that's got a lot more to it. Actually, it's really good." And
I love
really
it when
good.
you're surprised that way.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other way around, where you think it's going to be.
It's going to be amazing, and then it's
got
a bit.
some bulk
No,
to
this
it.
absolutely exceeds expectations.
Awesome. Oh, I'm really glad.
Yeah.
Well, I want to mention a game. I want to talk about a game.
Oh, well, you can change the rules because it's your episode, mate. You can do what you like.
I'm first player, aren't I?
Yeah.
So I might as well. We got together last week and we played Nucleum with, is it the Australia expansion?
So the New Energy Institute expansion.
And then we had the Court of Progress
expansion. JP chucked it all in.
Yeah.
Oh, he never does
in
that.
In JP traditional fashion, he's gone, I've bored with the standard game.
Not even that. He may not have even played the first game and he's thrown all the expansions
I've chucked it in. And I forget how much I love that game.
Yeah.
It's just so... Oh, I can't figure out the puzzle until the end of the game because I don't play it enough.
Yeah.
But every time I play it, like we nearly broke T at one point.
Oh, it's just hilarious. The first hour, he was literally head in his hands for an entire hour. It was like, well, that's gone well. This is Curly
like
2.0.
It was
doesn't sound like fun.
it was fun. So I mentioned that because that I found out it's got solo mode. So I'm like,
oh yeah, no, it's awesome.
But I want to talk about another game that I played solo. I do have friends, people, I promise.
Not really.
Not really, no. But still, a boy can dream, right? And I bought a long time ago Star Wars Outer Rim.
Still haven't played that yet. I really should.
And I've played it with Tambo a lot, and it's been sat on my shelf for a long time. And there are reasons why I didn't play it, but I was like, no, screw it, I'm going to play it. And I had the expansion, the Unfinished Business. So I took that out of Shrink and I popped it and I was at the table and I was like, right, okay. Because I've never set this game up. I've only ever gone over to Tambo's and Tambo knew all the rules. So I didn't have to, I just kind of had to learn my what I was doing and that was it. So I learned the game, I set it all up and I played it the next day. And it's such a wonderful Star Wars game because it doesn't focus on the main characters. It doesn't focus on the Jedi or the Sith. It's not even a fighting game. You can't fight each other. So you are either a bounty hunter or a smuggler trying to become the most famous bounty hunter or smuggler in the galaxy. And you do this by doing jobs and completing tasks to gain fame. And with the expansion, it's the first to 8. 8 fame wins the game. And you've got you've got almost like a personal story that you need to fulfill. So it gives you a bit of direction throughout the game. And it was just wonderful. I've only ever played it 4-player, which is it can take a long time. Because it's a typical game where it starts real slow, where nobody gets any fame for sort of an hour or two. And then all of a sudden, it ramps up massively. So to play it on my own, and I played it with a bot, and I've only ever played with a bot twice before in any games. So I wasn't really sure how it was going to go. But it was really easy to follow. You drew a card, you did what it said on the card in the order that you could do it in. So I was like, oh, okay. But it actually really felt like a player in regard that they were just constantly getting in your way. And I was going up against somebody who steals your parts if he can get to you. So I'm constantly trying to stay away. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, damn it, I need to go that way. So if this card comes out, I know I'm losing parts off my ship or things like that. So... And I played it for about 5 hours on my own because I was taking it really slowly and just thought, do you know what, I'm just going to sit and enjoy this game. And for my first solo playthrough, I got a couple of things wrong, but it's a solo game. Who really cares? But I loved it and I had an absolute blast. And I love the Star Wars universe and I love the sort of fringe characters that are included in this. And yeah, I just had an absolute blast with it. So I've put an event up. It's on a Sunday day, so I don't know if anybody can make it, but I thought, screw it, I'll just put an event up.
You can have a nice time on your own if it doesn't anyway.
Exactly. Worst case scenario, I get to play a game I love regardless. So yeah, I had an absolute blast with it, and the artwork, typical Star Wars fashion. You can tell who the character, the character artwork's done really well, but it's a really simplistic sort of design on the mat. The mat is it's a semicircle that represents the kind of galaxy. So, and they almost come like puzzle pieces, so you can always switch these around.
Okay, that's cool.
So there's a standard setup, and then after that point, you can just shuffle it and put it, in any order that you want. The only problem with that is you just about learn where the planets are on this semicircle. And then if you change that, you then have to relearn where they all are. So you're constantly just reading names of planets. That's the only downside. Oh, where the bloody hell is that planet? I've got to pick up this cargo and take it there. But for a Star Wars game, it's quite chill in that you're not fighting anything. You can pick up crew, and if a bounty hunter needs... if there's a bounty for one of your crew members, they have to come and get it off you, but they fight the crew member, they don't fight you, and all the crew members have got stats. The only kind of time you can really have a fight is when you're fighting against a NPC or you're fighting against a patrol. There's 4 patrols in this game. There's the Rebel Alliance, the Imperials, there's the Hutts, and there's the Syndicate. So you've got 2 kind of crime sort of organizations, and then you've got the big 2. Oh, and as you do tasks, you've got a tracking board that puts you in favour with some and lowers you with others.
Oh, okay.
And if you encounter their patrol and you're either sort of neutral or you're with their favour, then they kind of just don't really bother you. If you're neutral, they stop you. So you stop your movement at that position, but nothing else really happens. You pull a card and do what's on the card. But if you're in favour with them, they just let you pass. And if you're not, you end up fighting that patrol unit. But if you defeat that patrol unit, a new patrol unit comes out to the point where there's 4 levels, and if the 4th one ever comes out, it cannot be defeated. They're bringing out the big guns because they know you're a bit of an arsehole. So
you have to just hope that you don't bump into them then.
Or you have to plan kind of your routes around them. There's always 2 routes between planets, so if they're on the bottom run, you
take the scenic route.
Yeah, and that can hinder you, and that it's actually going to take you longer to get to your destination, but you're not having to... you're not having to go against these ridiculously powerful sort of starships, and you've got like a little smuggling ship that's just
smuggling Robin Reliant.
Exactly.
Delboy going through space.
So like I say, it's quite thematic. You buy new ships, and there's a story to tell. I just bloody love it. I absolutely love it. Mainly because it's got the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels as a ship in it that you can buy, which I love that ship.
It's just wafting over my head.
Yeah,
here.
with the 2 of us looking at you going,
sorry, I'm just spewing nerd over you. I apologise.
Yeah, I've wiped it off. It's fine.
I apologise.
It is. I mean, it's a game I see a lot on solo lists, and I must admit, I am a sucker for a decent thematic one. And to be honest, what you're describing sounds very much like the Firefly game that came out, like from Gale Force 9.
I've heard that's really good.
I got that, and I had all the expansions, but those were in the days before I did solo, so it was never going to get played, so I got rid of it, and I now kind of regret it, because it was very much you would take jobs, and depending on who you pissed off, you could be in trouble with them, and then you've got the Reavers out there in space, and so it was all there, and the board and everything, and you could get all the different ships. It was really good.
This is why you don't get rid of your games. See,
some people have to.
No, but you all talk about there's always somewhere else to hide them. It's always somewhere.
Your house is not a TARDIS. Sooner or later, you're going to open a cupboard and die under an avalanche.
We have actually already planned that we need to get some more Cadillacs for the living room. We have accepted.
At which point do you have an extension?
We're getting rid of the DVD
You've got a garden you barely
cases.
use. Just build out to that.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Don't need that.
Nice.
So opposite the board games where they are now, there's going to be another. Well, we also need somewhere to put the Lego, so that's for.
Yeah, that's a problem I now have. Is Lego is now becoming a bit of an issue because it's too big and I don't have enough space, and there are kits I want, because I really want the Goonie pirate ship now.
It looks cool, doesn't it? Have you seen the new Star Trek?
What the
Enterprise? It looks so good.
It's big, but I'm not that fussed about it.
Oh, it looks so cool.
I'd rather have the Goonie pirate ship.
I mean, it is just the Goonie pirate ship.
And my ultimate one is the Titanic, but that is massive.
Yeah, you can keep that.
That is massive.
So, but if you get rid of your games, then you always regret it. You see, I'm not going to have that problem. Yeah, I'm not going to have that problem.
To be fair, I'm compensating quite nicely. This was a Kickstarter free year. It's not gone well.
Hey ho. You can always sell them, then it's like you've rented it out. That's what you got to think to yourself.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Cool. Sounds good.
So with that, we can move on to the main segment. So this episode is about something that's become one of my favourite parts of gaming. And it's something that I guess subconsciously has been through different stages of my life without me realising. I'll explain why in a minute. But this episode is going to be about Dungeons and Dragons. So that's the reason that, Stu, I've invited you on this one. One, because you're a DM for two groups that I'm a part of and do a fantastic job in it. So you've got a lot of experience. And Becky, somebody who's fairly new with to D&D.
Yeah, well, I had a flirtation with it about 20 odd years ago.
Mm-hmm. Dirty girl.
I had one kind of, we can't even call it really a campaign. It was just an excuse to get together with mates and eat loads of crisps.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And roll dice.
So the reason I say it's been sort of subconsciously with me is my first encounter with D&D was the TV show.
Which one?
What?
The 80s cartoon.
The cartoon.
Yeah. Which had absolutely nothing to do with D&D.
Well, I had a dungeon master and that was about it.
Yeah. And the dragon. What was the dragon called?
Oh, I can't remember the dragon. And you had each of the character classes. You had a barbarian, a ranger, a wizard.
A rogue.
And a rogue, I think.
There was a chick with the invisible hood, right?
Yeah.
And a goat for some reason. I don't know what the goat was about. But that was that's how I know of Dungeons and Dragons as a kid. And then it cropped up in Ready Player One when I was reading that. It cropped up in the 90s for me when we started painting minifigures and you could get D&D minifigures. And I was like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot about D&D. Then most people probably now know it through Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And again, before that, there was Tiny Tina's D&D adventure in Borderlands 2. It was an expansion that really made me laugh. And I was like, that to be honest, that's what kind of gave me the kick to try it. And then most recently, Baldur's Gate. I mean, a lot of people now, after playing Baldur's Gate, kind of understand the mechanics of it, or not the mechanic, but the kind of the spells and the abilities and everything else. It makes it a lot easier to create a character and I know it's not 100% accurate, but
it's not bad.
It's enough to get your foot in the door. So yeah, like the only reason I know Gary Gygax's name is because it's mentioned a lot in Ready Player One, and D&D was created by Gary Gygax and David Arneson.
Yeah, there's some sort of historic debates about some of it, but yeah.
Or at least that's when that was the first publication that was made by them, and it was made in 1974.
Yeah,
which was older than I thought it was. I thought it was out in the 80s, but yeah, that's a good 10 years before I realised it had come out. So, and then of course you had all the hysteria. Like a lot of people think that, especially my daughter who has no clue, thinks that the hysteria around D&D is hilarious in Stranger Things. But it was a very real concern in the 80s, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was.
I think probably more in America.
Yeah.
I remember doing something to do with it when I did sociology back in college, back in the 90s. It wasn't quite the 90s, but it almost was. It was year 2000. Yeah. So it was almost the 90s. And I remember us looking at, and I already knew what D&D was because I've only ever had nerdy boyfriends, so I knew what that was. And yeah, I remember knowing, like, I know that's nonsense, but I know why they're worried about it. You know, this whole sort of demonic thing. Oh my goodness, all of that. Yeah,
well, it got a lot of negative publicity in the early 80s from a lot of Christian groups.
Yeah.
There was also the film as well, Maze and Monsters.
Yes.
Tom Hanks, which is all about a group where someone has a breakdown, basically, and someone goes missing.
Well, that was based on a true story, or like a true story, like most horror films are based on a true story. In that that was later discredited by So it follows a person who can't separate fantasy from reality.
And there are those people out there, aren't there?
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, if you any group of people where you haven't got to take a test to get in it, there are going to be some weird people in that group, right? Regardless of,
you just need to hang around a comic book shop for any length 100%. Of time, and your point is proven. 100%.
But that can be any group.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, it's any group that you don't have to take a test to prove that, like, who kind of your mentality. You're going to get some dickheads in there, regardless, 100%. And
I think it's got a similar kind of board game adjacency, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna kind of appeal to slightly insular.
Yes.
Like, you know,
especially in the 80s.
House cats rather than people that are going walking in woods and doing outdoory type things.
Because for our younger listeners, if you had a PC at home, you were a nerd. Do you know, can you remember that? When like, oh my God, you've got a computer. Geek.
Yeah. That was not a good thing. But I think it's one of those hobbies. I mean, board games to an extent, but I think now it's too mainstream that board games don't have the stinking legacy of nerdiness has gone away, whereas D&D's always had it. Anytime you see mainstream D&D on the news, they hawk out this 1970s clip of 3 accountant men in shirts going, and hello, yes, we like to come together and roll dice, and going, dude, seriously?
Yeah. Adenoid nasal problem.
Yeah, and it that is an image that's never left.
No. Well, yeah, but it's perpetuated by people over time now.
It is, and Stranger Things, to be fair, hasn't done a lot for that in terms of it's still this small group of nerdy kids playing D&D, and you got like the likes of Eddie.
But nerd culture now is so much more acceptable.
Oh yeah, it's very different, and it's got its own movement, but it's outside looking in. Oh yeah, that's all they see.
Yeah,
and I mean the concept that the people of my age in the early 50s are playing things like this is a concept that most people can't grasp.
Yeah. 100%. And I think that is a stigma left over from that time because it spanned, I think, 74. I mean, it's
50 years old.
It's 1 year after I was born.
Exactly. It's been around a long time. And back then as well, you know, nerd culture wasn't what it was now. Like, to the point where I just had a quick look on Wikipedia about D&D because I don't know the history of it. I've been playing it for just over a year now, but again, I didn't know a lot of the history. And it was saying then that people who played it faced social ostracism, unfair treatment, and false association with the occult and Satanism.
Yeah.
And I think that obviously people now know that people don't worship the devil, and this is the point. Some people probably do.
They probably don't play D&D.
But in the same way that there are some football fans who probably follow Satan, and there are some ballerinas who probably follow. Do you know what I mean?
There's enough real world nastiness out there. You don't need to go looking for it and trying to create a hysteria that's not there.
100%. But I think, I've said before to somebody that I've pulled D&D, and the face that they pulled was like, oh yeah, I like licking my own toes. Do you know what I mean? Is that saying, what?
Yeah. I mean, it took me a long time before I was comfortable telling people I play board games or do D&D because you just know the reaction you're going to get and the way they're going to look at you, and you just think, I can't be dealing with that. But I mean, if you actually think about it, D&D is probably one of the oldest art forms because it's just advanced storytelling.
Yeah.
And human beings have been telling stories since the beginning of time.
I think that fact is lost on a lot of people, potentially who haven't experienced it before. Because the first D&D session I did, Chris Ninja Pouncy volunteered, like, really bravely, in my opinion, to DM a session. And he'd never done it before. I think he played before, like, loosely, but he said, I'll DM a session. And of course he's dealing with like 6 people who want to go off and do these weird things, and he did a brilliant job for his kind of level of expertise in it's like trying to wrangle cats, isn't it? You know, it's just
it still is, trust me.
It still is, and exactly, and you've got so much experience in it, and that was my kind of first experience messing around with it a little bit. I bought a starter kit and we just did it, and I think then realizing that there doesn't have to be any hard rules with this. You don't have to be an incredible storyteller to play this game. It helps with a lot of things, especially the impromptu stuff, which we'll get to in a little bit. But I think there's definitely a skill level, but it is ultimately improv.
Yeah,
it's it's kind of on the fly storytelling, and I kind of liken it to an interactive book that's going on in people's heads. it's that shared collective of
it's making up a story.
It's group choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So with that, Stu, that leads quite nicely because you've been DMing for how long?
Consistently now since COVID.
Since COVID,
yeah.
So already that's 5 years, which is
how can it be 5 years?
Mental, isn't it?
Because we keep blacking that bit out of the year.
Yeah.
Is that like 2 years ago? No, there were a few in between. We don't talk about those.
Yeah. We don't
We all deserve a bit of a refund from those years, don't we?
Oh, 100%.
Definitely.
So I mean, you're our DM, and you do a wonderful job. But kind of what led you to becoming, first of all, what led you to becoming a DM? And secondly, do you prefer DMing in the control element?
Control?
The project management, oversight, control of everything happening? Or would you prefer to play, but you've almost got to, comfortable in that DM role that you don't really get the opportunity to play anymore?
I think I DM... There's one probably driving reason. I have an active imagination. It's never off. It's always on. I mean, I've done, if we've played a board game that's grabbed my imagination, I'll do a little write-up for it because my brain just goes.
Which now because of Discord, people can read
as
well, and they are fantastic.
They are fantastic.
And so my brain's always doing that. I mean, I could literally, walk the dog, see an old tree, see a squirrel, and then suddenly... Oh, there's a squirrel. Perhaps there's a clan of squirrels. Perhaps there's 2 clans of squirrels. Perhaps there's a sacred tree. Perhaps there's some rats trying to undermine the tree. And just literally, and 2 steps later, I've forgotten it. It's gone. So my brain's never off. So storytelling is kind of there in my head. DMing fits with that. And typically, if I want to do D&D, there isn't a DM around. So if I want to do it, I'm doing it. And I'm fine with that because, to be honest, I'm not that fussed about playing. I'd probably want to play, but because I've done so much DMing now, and I'm not a pro by any sense, because I know so much of what's in the background and I've read so much source material, I probably wouldn't be a good player because I'd want to know more, or my inner head would be going, oh, I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, what have you rolled, or what have you done? I'm not sure you were playing that right, and I don't think I'd be a good player, so I'd much rather just DM now because I'm comfortable with it, and it's enough of it, and I've got a screen to hide behind when you guys drive me mad. So it's fine.
You don't hide very well because we can still see your face where you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I mean, we'll get onto it a bit later, but yeah, it is the one golden rule of it really doesn't matter what you plan, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, no, after playing our campaign, we've experienced some kind of interesting choices.
Yeah, I mean, it just defies logic beyond any measure whatsoever. I mean, D&D is fantasy. D&D is being what you want to be, being that character. I mean, it's whatever you've seen on telly, whatever you've read, whatever you've got in your head, whether it's Princess and Flowers or whether it's some raging barbarian with 2-syllable sentences and stuff like that. It's whatever you want to be. But you still assume at some point a human brain is in there somewhere doing logical stuff, and it's like, no.
That's an assumption on your part, sir.
Yes, that was a very bad assumption.
So, Becky, after having your kind of first... Would it fair to say proper playthrough so far?
Yeah, so this session I did a long time ago with our friend Jason. He was a great DM because he's in a similar, there is maybe quite a lot of sort of correlations. So he's very the storytelling, the ideas. So that he was a really good DM. And he worked in Crackers, so he had all access to all the stuff. So that was probably quite helpful. But yeah, I think just the sheer amount of work that the DM puts into things must be phenomenal. And I think so it must be quite annoying when the players don't do what you want them to do to end up going to the thing, but hopefully that can be recycled. Like we've had a chat about how that kind of works, and yeah, you can recycle some stuff, I guess. But I think the interesting thing for me is you don't quite know how these things are going to turn out, which is kind of like life, isn't it? You've got a group of 4 people or however many you've got, and you're making up a story at the time. And I think it's a really good way of kind of, in the same way that board games do it, you can learn about confrontation and you can practice it without it being real life and having not any sort of Ramifications, thank you. Yeah, so you can practice that kind of stuff, and you can kind of, because I think I'm definitely better at conflict and not at conflict, at dealing with other people's conflict perhaps, and getting into it rather than being completely avoidant. And that's definitely due to board game and like I say, I've not done enough D&D for that to make a big impact on me, but I think there's definitely some of that there. You can practice doing these things and the kind of negotiation thing, because that's what you have to do for these games.
Yeah, and ultimately it will come down to a dice roll anyway. So you,
And I've got a D30, and Stu didn't like it.
A fireball is always the answer, without question.
but the orphanage hasn't cleared. You know what I said? Such a great meme. I love it.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, fireballs. I just ban those for life.
I heard once it's not about the battle. It's not about the battling. It's not even about the story. It's about the war crimes that you and your best friends, your lovely, nice friends, are going to commit along this journey. That's what it's all about.
While doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. So Becky raised an amazing point. There is obviously the amount of work that goes into this. Now I know this because of our private conversations, and I guess it's something that I didn't really take into account of how much time it takes from your point of view as our DM. And when you told me this, I was like, oh shit, I need to up my game a little bit and appreciate the story a little bit more. So obviously we were playing once a fortnight?
Yeah, we were pretty much averaging once a fortnight until...
And how much time do you put into preparing for an event?
So one of our D&D sessions is 2.5, 3 hours typically. Prep time for that session, depending on what we've got and what we're doing, is probably around 5 hours on top of that.
Which is almost like a part-time job on top of a job that you're not getting paid for.
No, I mean, it depends what I'm doing. And I mean, there's all kinds of resources out there. I use Slide Flourish, has the Lazy DM's guide, which is just quick ways to do prep and cut prep time down. And it is very good. And there are lots of ways to do it. I'm not there yet. But the thing is, you turn up with your characters, and I'm going to put stuff in front of you, and there's an implicit bargain that says, I will put things in front of you, and you will choose to do those. And that's kind of the deal here, because I mean, if it's like, oh, that's a spooky cave with some dodgy noises in, let's go back to the pub. That's not really how this works. There is an expectation that the phrase is, grab the torches, boys, we're going in. So there's a little bit of, I'm going to put stuff here, I'm expecting you to do this. But at the same time, I want to give you choice. I want to give you options. So if there's a fork left and right, I want you to go left because there's the village and all the characters and there's your next set of breadcrumbs for your trail. Guaranteed one of you muppets is going to go, actually, I want to go into the woods and find some herbs. Oh, for fuck's sake. And I've got nothing for that. So I have to try and cover off some bases and then have something in reserve. And a lot of my prep time is also, we use a tabletop. I've got maps and stuff. I've got little tokens because I think it's easier for guys to visualize. D&D's theatre of the mind is a big thing. But when you're doing combat and you're trying to work out distances and placing, having something to visualize just to make it easier. Yeah. So I put a bit of time into that. I don't need to do that. That's a choice I do, but it makes it easier for everybody to see what's going on.
Yeah. And I guess it saves being badgered by... Yeah. So how far away am I away from this creature?
Just what's that measurement?
So even then I put on like a nerdy voice. I don't know why. It's me doing it.
That's why you're putting on the nerdy voice.
Well, yeah, there is that.
So yeah, I mean, prep time is every DM is different. I mean, I don't do a lot of world building. I use a lot of pre-prepared resources, and I just blend it with what I'm thinking or what I know you guys are doing. So I'm it's a mix of world building and a mix of someone else's resources and stuff I've just nicked. I mean, D&D half the time you nick it from books, films, anything you've seen that you want to do.
But the films, books, and TV series nicked it from D&D.
Yeah,
in the first place.
Like it's almost
entirely circular.
There is no new stories.
Yeah, just recycled. So, because I mentioned on the last podcast the episode that we did, the Halloween mansion thing.
Those porcelain dolls were horrific.
And I mentioned them as well. The fact that you actually screamed out loud at one point.
Well, it just shows
so
how rich a world Stu is creating. Okay, yes, I am terrible at a jump scare, not going to lie. But you're kind of listening. And you saw a bit like when you're watching a film, you know the spooky music started. Somebody's going to jump out from behind that bush, tree, window, whatever. Yeah. But I still jump every time because that's what it's designed to do.
It was great.
That's what it's designed to do.
It was so good. And we all laughed about it afterwards because we didn't laugh at you.
They laughed at me.
No, we didn't at all.
We did.
We laughed at the fact that Stewart managed to do this.
And that's because I was I was
but
in.
you weren't the only one. All 5 of us were. And
it was literally telegraphed. It was like, it's coming.
Yeah,
That's what made it.
You could have had the scary music playing. That you could have had that, but I would have still, because I was absorbed in, which is the whole point of it. I think this is not something for people who are not prepared to get invested and involved. If you don't want to do it, please don't waste your time on everybody else's.
And I'm not talking like turn up and stay in character the whole time.
No, please don't come. Well, actually, you could come around in a cape.
Davey,
hat.
if you're
That's
listening,
fine.
please don't do it.
Davey plays a very stinky wood elf.
Mushroom druid.
So
okay, he's not coming around. Yeah, but this is, in all seriousness, you do have to, part of it, you have to kind of do a little bit of collabing with the teammates, like, oh, we're doing this, But I think if you're not going to be invested and actually give a crap, just don't waste your own time.
Yeah.
And more importantly, don't waste the DM's time, because they put a lot of effort into it.
And that's that point, is it's obviously have a laugh, have fun.
Yeah.
But if you're then kind of ruining the DM experience to a degree, it's a very collective thing, right? If someone's having
together, you're making a bargain with each other. We're going to focus on this and we're going to do the thing. And if you're not, that's fine. But then don't choose to play, because it's a bit like playing a 4-hour game and going, oh, I don't think I'm really winning, so I'm just going to leave in an hour. You could, and maybe the other people could still play, but it's not going to be the same. And that's just a bit of a dick move, unless you have to because your house is on fire or something. But it's still a dick move, isn't it?
No, we're going to finish the game.
But my games are burning. Well, we started the session.
You cast Fireball, live with it. But it's one of those things. I think it's one of the pitfalls that a lot of starting DMs find is you go online and you watch Matthew Mercer and Vox Machina, and you watch. I watch High Rollers as a stream, and there you watch Matt Colville and various other streamers doing streams, and you try and deliver that. Don't. That's not your group. That's not your style. Play to your group. I like our people to stay engaged and sort of get with the story. Our Halloween, we had a bunch of new players there, but everybody was kind of trying to be the characters, and these were just pre-made ones we just set for the session, so they weren't ones they owned, but they were still trying to do it, even though they knew you like, I'm putting a door in front of you. Yes, you're going to have to go through the door. That's the deal.
I wanted to just run away when we got the
creepy voice kid. Yeah, that's the one. Let's just run away. So, but it doesn't have to be rigid. We have downtime at our game table. There will be little bits of side conversation. You just have to find that balance of, one of the key things of a DM is, I know what I know. You don't know until I tell you. So you have to let me tell you so that you can then decide what you want to do. And if you're all busy talking about next week's dinner or tonight's meal and stuff, then that's a problem. But I don't expect people to be in character from the minute they sit down to the minute they leave. You've got to find a balance, because everybody's there to have fun. And if you're not there to have fun, then there is no point doing it.
It does get to a point where you're like, we really need to crack on with this now. Like, if we have kind of gone off tangent a little bit, because I think as well, the more time you spend playing it, like the beginning's always a bit like, oh.
Well, you're kind of warming up, aren't you?
Yeah, and it gets to a point where you're having fun, you're making decisions, and it's coming thick and fast, and before you know it, you're kind of waist deep in an adventure that, we spent an entire session trying to cross a creek once.
Yeah,
it was brilliant. And to be honest, my favourite D&D session was when we went to the county fair.
I know. It was mental.
Did you win a goldfish in a bag?
No, I fell off a mechanical ball.
Okay, I don't want to know what your saving roll was for that.
It wasn't great.
Any of his rolls aren't great.
Rob is terrible with dice. It really is.
It's one of the weird things of D&D that I have found quite a lot. And again, so I'm not massively experienced and don't run loads and loads of groups, but players love making characters more than they love playing with them.
I've already decided who my next character is.
If people don't turn up to a session with at least 3 other characters in their back pocket, I'll be very surprised. And players love a shopping trip. They will quite happily spend an entire episode in a city shopping.
Buying stuff. Well,
that's
for no other reason than that. And so, every now and again, I will throw in something like a fairground where it's an eating competition and a drinking competition. And a bit of
it's just kind of a pause for fun, isn't it?
They're all skill challenges. There's no bad case scenario. And you do get into it. And it's ridiculous the amount of excitement people get into trying to win it and all this kind of stuff.
I guess because before I've only ever experienced story, battle, and then paid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to do something like that, and I was like, oh, this is brilliant. It was probably
it's like
what, a
games
second.
that you have in a video game, isn't it? It's like the side quest, that nice little fun random. I think it was in Fable. They had like a guitar game or a card game or.
Oh, there's so many in Fable.
Yeah, and you're playing your main thing and you're trying to achieve your stuff, but every now and again it's nice to just have a little jolly.
It's a bit very different as well, yeah. So, and we were doing, and I love chucking dice. I think that's like
you do, but you'd think you'd be better at it, mate, because you are rubbish.
Oh, come on! I get enough shit from him without me doing it as well.
It's not your fault, mate. You're just unlucky.
Tell me about it.
You're rolling it the same as everybody else. You're not doing it wrong.
He's not.
No, he isn't.
He's
You're
really,
right.
really not.
How do you mess it up so many times?
I love the fact you're all like, it's a dice roll.
Well, yeah, but yours are terrible. So what are you doing?
I don't know.
Are you not like giving him enough love, or are you just?
I'm not. I don't think I'm praying to the dice gods hard enough.
Maybe.
I think.
Mate, I think they blocked your number.
That's very fair. So, in regards to starting, then you were talking about character creation. I didn't realise that all you as a player, not as a DM, but you literally just need a player's handbook, and I don't think that's even a main requirement for it.
There's online
kits will
kind
do
of
it.
stuff.
Yeah, the starter kits will do it. I bought the player's handbook just because there was a lot of stuff in there that I wasn't aware of, and when we started playing it, sort of Taz, Davey, Rich, they all had their copies, and I was like, oh, I really want a copy.
I bought a copy of it.
And
funnily enough, I don't own it anymore, which is really ridiculous, but I wish I did. But it was like, I don't know, was it third ed or fifth ed? I can't remember what.
Yeah, it might be the third or fourth.
They're probably about 50th ed now.
Well, originally back in the day, the reason D&D got so much heat was because it depicted naked breasts. Shock horror.
Oh my God.
Shock horror. I mean, typically they were on succubi and harpies, which, I mean, that's a tough wank.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, you don't look at the mantelpiece while you're stoking the fire.
Well, yeah, but still. But that kind of, it all kind of went into the hype. But the artwork of D&D, I suppose, for an imaginative game, the artwork's incredible.
Yeah.
I you know, the amount of detail and stuff that are in those books, unnecessarily so. You don't need to see pictures and things because again, it's all happening in your head. But I bought the player's handbook just because it can be quite overwhelming. Very similar to kind of Baldur's Gate. The amount of stuff you can do is it's ridiculous, right?
I think I might buy one for my friend.
I think with me, I mean, I know everybody goes out and they buy the player's handbook and they buy all this. To be honest, I wouldn't. I would just get one of the starter kits. It gives you enough to get comfortable with it. And then once you get comfortable with it, then you can buy the books because the books can be overwhelming. There's all kinds of stuff. And I mean, and then you start getting Tashas and then you get Xanathars and then there's like 25 versions and then you're getting dual classes and it just goes boom.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still use Roll20, which is a digital VTT platform. Other ones are available.
VTT.
Virtual tabletop
VTT
to generate characters because it does it all for you, and then you can just produce the PDFs, which is what I did for our Halloween specials. Because I don't have to think about it. But if you actually try and build one from scratch, where you're rolling the dice and you're going through and adding up all the multipliers, it takes ages at times when you're trying to figure out, I'm a class, okay, I've got to pick this proficiency, that does that, and that goes over there, that's my saving throw. It's a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
So, don't rush out to get all the stuff because you'll look at it and just get overwhelmed.
That's fair. Yeah, I think if it wasn't for your help setting up my first character, I think, that book probably would have been too much. But also there's plenty of online options as well that you can get. You could get enough material quite easily.
Oh, very easily, yeah.
My daughter wanted to start playing, so I had to create her character and 3 other characters from scratch, and it literally took me like 2 weekends.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. So
there's something quite nice about crafting a character.
Yeah,
isn't there?
and I said it's one of the things players love doing more than playing. It's bizarre, but it is. And I'm with a DM, I'm kind of the same. I like creating NPCs. I like creating little clever plot bits. I like crafting custom magic items for my players that are exactly tailored for their kind of character builds because it just makes it more interesting.
See, you act like the big meanie. You're like, I'm going to kill your characters.
Oh, no, they've all got a twist. There's always a little something. I gave someone once a cursed, haunted ragdoll.
Oh, what is it with you and the horrible dolls?
Because they're creepy
as hell.
So it's really good. So I gave it to this character, and it starts off okay, and it would just talk to her in her head. And then
That's not okay.
Then it started to turn her against the group, and she kept leaving it behind, and the next night at the camp, it would turn up again.
Oh, God, that's horrific.
And she had it for about 4 weeks before I let her get rid of it.
That's amazing.
Burn it in a fire.
It was just a creepy doll. It didn't do anything. It was just a creepy doll.
Yeah, but just the thought of it is doing enough to me. Thank you. I don't want that.
So you mentioned earlier as well about the kind of premier campaigns that are going on right now, the Vox Machinas, the Mighty Nine, which is the same game group, and the High Rollers, and things like that. So as an episodic listen, I love the storytelling.
So I've not listened to any of these.
Have you heard of Vox Machina?
Isn't that an animated TV series?
No. So the
Curly was watching.
The animated series is their first campaign.
Oh, I see.
And they're all professional voice actors.
I see.
So the production of their D&D group is incredible.
I see.
So I guess I'd kind of, like you said, like if I was going to be a DM, I'd instantly that's what I'd lean to. But that isn't in my wheelhouse. I'm not even capable of half of the things that they do, and they've been playing for God knows how long.
Yeah, I mean, there are a number of things you have to consider. Is that the likes of Matt Mercer, Mark Sherlock Humes, these are guys who have lived and breathed D&D for decades, and are they contribute to official written material. They produce D&D source books and stuff. These are pros, and like you said, particularly with the Mighty Nine, Vox Machina, these are actors. So these are people who are designed to do this kind of output. The High Rollers group are actually all based in Bristol. And I really like them, and they've got some really well-crafted campaigns. They're on their third one now, and there's a lot of depth to it. And when they're playing, they're largely, in character all the time and playing it and stuff. But again, it's a show. It's designed to showcase it. I use it as a reference for certain scenarios, like if there's going to be a big complex battle and there's going to be stuff going on with the terrain and things like that, I want to see how they handle it. If there's going to be some sort of puzzles or travel or stuff like that, there are things I use it for just as a reference point, but I would never use it to learn. Because it's just a level too high for what I need for my group and the people I'm playing with.
So, Becky, when you started your first campaign, like as a relative newbie, what were you thinking and feeling going into it? Was it a little bit self-conscious, a little bit? Because I know I was when I that first playthrough, when you turned to me and was like, "Right, guys, what are you going to do?" And I'm like,
I think the people around the table, I'm not noted for my shy nature. Well,
yeah, I've just realised I've never put those two words together when referring
when I was a small
to you.
child, I was very shy, but I don't remember that. I'm not known for my sort of retiring kind of. And that's not, I mean, I am a gobby cow. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't mind looking stupid. Christ, if I minded looking stupid, I would have, yeah, I'm very, very clumsy. I'm always doing something, and I'm okay with that. And I'm the first one to say, look, at work, look, guys, I haven't done this before. So I don't know. I'm happy to look like the person that doesn't know, and I'm fine with that. So I wasn't feeling self-conscious. I wasn't worried about that, really. I guess the most I was worried about is my friend going to like this? Because she'd never played at all. So that was it wasn't a concern particularly because I knew she'd like it. But I was more concerned that, like, I made sure that she had the dice in the right order because I knew that she'd feel a bit like, oh, I don't know what a D20 is. So I was trying to make that kind of thing easier for her. Whereas if I'd been completely brand new at it, I wouldn't have cared that I didn't know which dice was which because I'm not bothered about not knowing. And that's why I'm so poor at games. I'm not. Shit, I need to care more about knowing. More. Damn it, this is where I've been going.
But that could ruin your experience with gaming.
Yeah, maybe. And I think I really liked the fact that we weren't level 1, so we had a little bit of ability.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better had I done my homework a bit more and researched more into my, the
your class.
Class and weapons, but. Again, I'm not noted for doing my homework very effectively, so I'm more than happy to just make it as I go along.
I love the fact that it's only you that's guilty of D&D homework not being done, because Stu's shaking his head.
It's really not. I mean, I because obviously there were a bunch of newbies at the table, I did produce a load of references to material. I'm sure somebody read it. I don't know who.
No, we did read the what you mean the diary entries and stuff.
Yes.
Or you mean the actual?
Right. These are all the dice you've got, and this is what you're going to be using.
Oh, I see.
All the prep stuff that
I read all of that, but I did know those things mostly, so I was okay about that. And I think it was nice that, like I say, Stewart made these characters, because I think, yes, I would absolutely have gotten involved in making my character and probably spent far too long doing that, or maybe then got bored halfway through and not finished. So it was nice that there was a pre-made character that did seem to be the kind of thing I would be interested in doing. I think what I'm always trying to recreate when I play this kind of thing is a favourite character in a book that I've read before. I want to be that person because she was cool or he was cool or whatever. So there was and I think probably the first D&D I ever did a long time ago, I was probably trying to recreate the same thing. There was a book by Juliet E. McKenna called A Thief's Gamble, which is about a woman who you get the impression that maybe back in history a bit, maybe there's a bit of elfish going, that kind of, obviously very attractive, probably, I don't know, mid-20s, I guess. And she was like a thief, but then got blackmailed into being a thief for a group. So she knew all kind of the dodgy people in town. It's like, I want to be that person. And that's always kind of the character that I'm trying to recreate. I think it's like Livac in that book is really cool. So I want to pretend to be that person.
That's fair though. But that's the thing with D&D. You can do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you named her Princess Donut.
Yes. Well, I named her Princess Donut because of anybody that's listened to the podcast and has heard me talking about Dungeon Crawler Carl knows that if you're going to be a cat humanoid person, you've got no other option but to call yourself Princess Donut. You two haven't read it and you're missing out.
What about the book that I've been banging on to you about for the last 6 years?
How
far through that book you got?
I will read it. I like books. But you wait till you've read it. You'll be calling all your characters Princess Donut.
Speaking of which, have you read any of the D&D books?
No.
Which like Drist and all those?
No. It's interesting enough, any of the sort of novel actual stories I've not read. The only stories I read are the source materials. I do research some bits and pieces if I'm looking at a particular story arc, but I've never read any of the actual content that's just, there for reading purposes like Drizzt and all that stuff. And to be honest, I Drizzt even passed me by until I started getting more into some of the aspects where it became relevant. So.
I've listened to it because I used to listen to books because I was doing so much driving, and that's how I became aware of what the Underdark is in the D&D universe and kind of the races that live in the Underdark. So the fact that when I got there in Baldur's Gate, I was like, I know all this. And when you're in your campaign, when you're talking about the Underdark and that it's very dangerous, and I'm like, I'm staying the hell away from there until I'm a few levels higher. And then seeing it in the movies, and I just love how there are so many stories to tell in that universe. Almost endless.
Yeah.
And yet there are certain pillars of that universe that don't really change through the telling of those stories.
I think that's the mark of a good story though, isn't it? It's got these certain landmarks that kind of anchor you to a thing.
Yes.
Because if it's something is completely open world, it's almost too much, isn't it? You need these kind of
becomes something separate then, doesn't it?
Yeah, you need these certain either tropes or common things that everybody knows, like folklore or whatever, and it kind of ties you in. It makes you a little bit more hemmed in with what can happen or what can't happen or what people think about things. If it was completely free for all, that makes it too open, I think.
You got that shared understanding though, haven't you? The shared reference points that, like, you'll know what Waterdeep is.
I do now.
Because of the game, right?
Why do you know what Waterdeep is, Becky?
Because of the great game. The greatest. No, it's not the greatest game. It's a game. It's a good game.
But again, that's...
But that's what put me off playing it, as I've mentioned many times, because of the stupid artwork. And it's like, it's going to be boring, like just fighting, not interested. Yeah. And that isn't what D&D is either, is it?
D&D is whatever you want it to be. And if you've got a bunch of players who are all want to be axe-wielding barbarians, trudging through dungeons, slaying goblins left, right and centre all day, every day, there are ways you can do that.
Yeah.
It'll get old real quick. But if that's what your group wants to do, that's what you do. But you don't have that's not the only thing you can do. You don't have to. You can do entire 3-4 sessions where you don't see a single creature you want to hit with a stick. There's any number of ways you can do it. And I think if you look at the evolution, so when I was a lad back in the day, so obviously I came to D&D in the 80s. In the days of what they called the red box. So they used to come in little boxes, and there was a red box, which was the basic, and the blue box expert, turquoise box was companion, black box was masters, and then the gold box was immortals. And that was basically you evolving through the levels and becoming more and more powerful to like godlike status. And by the time they got to like companion, they'd lost their way, and it was just no one ever really played to that level. But all the basic stuff and the expert stuff has stayed through time, and it's still there. But it's never been just roll dice, hit things with sword, move on, find a treasure, come back out. There's more to it. And if you look at all the richness of the source material now, there's an anthology book came out called Candlekeep Mysteries, which is about this fantastic library structure. And there are a number of different adventures in there. And one of them is basically like solving a murder mystery in a beauty salon. So,
okay.
I mean, that's not D&D trope in anybody's imagination.
Yeah,
yet.
It's not what you think when you hear D&D.
No, it's a world, and it's there for everybody. And there are any number of things that are there. You can make it what you want. And that's the good thing about it, because it's just storytelling. There's a framework. You use the bits you want, don't use the other bits. There's no hard and fast rules. It's the one thing that makes board games more constrained. There are rules. You can only move so far. You can only take so many resources. You can only go to so many spots. D&D doesn't have that. As long as you agree what you want to do and don't want to do what you like.
It's like you've got to agree on your safe words, and then in that kind of parameter, then it's fine.
But that is a serious point. I mean, that is probably the one serious point I would say is we talk about how you start in session 0 and stuff, and you talk about what kind of campaign you want. Do you want a mix of narrative and combat? Do you want a lot of combat? Do you want a lot of mysteries? Do you want a convoluted plot? Do you just want to do free-form one-shots every now and again? You do need to talk about the topics you do and don't want to cover. And if people have genuine phobias about spiders, confined spaces, creepy dolls, you need to get that out.
Be creepy dolls
because
now.
The last thing you want to do is traumatize one of your players while you're doing it. So you do need to have some grown-up conversations, which is why a session 0 is quite important, just to set the boundaries of what everybody wants out of this and what everybody's comfortable with, just to be sensible. But it doesn't have to be heavy or complicated. You just need has anybody got any phobias I need to know about, so that you don't freak someone out mid-session. So there are a couple of things you need to think about. But yeah, the sessions are whatever you want them to be.
What do you think about gaining your DM's alignment? Now that's going to sound really nerdy, but there's certain class alignments. So you can be evil bad, you can be
lawful neutral,
lawful good, and then the whole range in between. Yeah. So you can be, kind of it's a kind of a thought process for your character.
It's like one of the kind of 16 personalities kind of types, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
but it's on on an axis, like you say.
But I saw a video the other day, and it was like you should always get your DM's alignment, because if they're evil bad, they're gonna really try and mess you up and try and not kill your character, but like kind of make it incredibly difficult for you, because that's what they find fun. Or you've got the other one where they're just like, we're good, and anything you do, anything bad that your character does in that campaign, potentially you're going to get punished for, because you've pissed off the DM, who is ultimately in control of your entire universe.
Yeah. What do we think Stu is? Maybe chaotic neutral?
I think he's going to say one thing, but I think he's different.
It's weirdly enough, because, alignments is one thing I don't pay a lot of attention to.
Yeah.
Mostly because you watch players pick their characters and they come up with this idea of who they want to be, Captain Jack Sparrow and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going to pick the alignment to do these kind of things. But it only takes a couple of sessions before they're basically playing themselves with a twist. And the alignment and the traits. So one of the things you do when you can set characters now is you have these 4 personality traits of your goals, your flaws, and all this kind of stuff. And you can get them, you write them yourself, or you can get them generated, and people look at them and go, oh yeah, that makes sense. And within 2 sessions, they've gone. Half your backstory's gone, half of that's gone, because it's just you with a twist or whatever you're doing, and you're having fun, but what you thought you were going to be doing with this character and your alignment doesn't really exist. So it's not something I think about. I'm not chaotic neutral. I'm borderline lawful neutral, because I'm very conscious about my players having a good time. It matters to me a lot. I sweated our first session with the noobs, because I thought, how do I know if they're enjoying this? Because I don't know them. I don't know what their facial expressions are like. I don't know what their temperaments are like. I need them to have a good time. This is their first exposure. If I fuck this up, they're never going to play again, and that's my fault, and I don't want it to be like that. But at the same time...
It's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, though, isn't it?
But it is. But if you think about it, I'm setting up a scene and a situation for you guys to have fun. If I get this wrong, you don't have fun. And that's, to a degree, on me. So as a DM, you can put an awful lot of pressure on yourself. And to an extent, it's there because you are running. If you don't create the right vibe, then it's going to be a problem. It's only partly on you. But I think, I like my players to have good time, but I'm not going to make it easy for you, because my job is to let you be epic. and epic isn't free.
That's a great saying. Let you be epic. Oh, that's brilliant. I love that.
But that's, I mean, and this is the one thing that I think some DMs do make a mistake with. This is not my story. I can create the world, I can create the scenarios, and all these interesting characters and all this kind of stuff. It's not my story, it's yours. I'm here to help you tell your story and be epic heroes or dastardly villains. That's what I'm there to do. And if I do that, you have a good time, I have a good time, everybody wins. I will kill you if you dick around.
That also is a very good line.
I mean, yeah, there will be a fireball in a box if you're not careful.
or a horrific demon in a box that looks like a really interesting little kind of puzzle. Oh, I think I've got the answer. Oh, brilliant. You open it and that entire world of shit falls out.
I mean, let's explore the scenario. Demon possesses child drives family mad, family killed child, imprisoned demon.
I didn't know that he'd imprisoned the demon in a box.
I mean, have you never watched a horror film?
No.
It's like, oh, there's a...
You saw how much I jumped when you talked about the thing. Do you think I've watched a horror film?
I mean, it was literally like, oh, there's a strange shape in the woods. I'll go out on my own and see what it is. Bye. But yeah, I mean, that's part of the implied deal of you might know what this really is, but you're still going to open it because
that's the story.
That's what we're here to do.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
so there was no way that when we had two options, we could look in the little cubby hole, or there's a box on the table. Now there was nothing in the cubby hole. We were still going to go back to that box on the table and open it, whatever happened.
So I guess as well, it's that kind of forced to be uncomfortable and kind of powering through it in that safe space. So like there can be quite uncomfortable topics because there are no rules and constraints within D&D, and like you said, especially if you don't set those boundaries in the beginning, you've created a character, you're playing this character potentially, for years. So you've invested a lot of time, emotion, effort into this character. And if that character's put into a situation that you personally are uncomfortable with, for some people that can be quite difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that kind of being forced in those situations where you as a person are uncomfortable, but you're still safe.
Yeah, but I think you're kind of living vicariously, aren't you? So I guess when I read that book, the reason I liked the main character so much because she was cool, and would I be in any way ever able to be like her at all? No. She had a great poker face. She was, sleight of hand was amazing. I fall over without any shoes on. Like this is not. So maybe it's my kind of. I wish I was more like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what we're trying to create. Or you're kind of going for a funny character. I don't know, whatever. But my characters are always they're always going to be. I don't know. Maybe those characteristics that I don't have that I think would be cool.
Yeah. So there's that fantasy element, right? It's it's I want it to be like me, but just a little bit better than me.
Yeah, everybody wants to be that little extra. And the bottom line is nothing bad can happen. The worst case scenario is you're gonna have to roll some more dice and find a new character because this one's a kebab.
This story's come to an end, right?
And I mean,
but even that can be quite emotional if you've put in a lot of time and effort into a character. That could almost be not
a bit
bereaved, but like a little bit.
Yeah, it can be.
I could see that.
People do get attached. And again, one of the session 0 conversations is, where are we with death? Do you want death? Are you happy with that if your characters get killed? Or do you want to avoid that? Because there are DM tricks for getting around it. There are ways of resurrecting characters and bringing them back, or pulling your punches. You can do whatever you want, but you just have to know where people's boundaries are. I mean, I asked you lot when we first started, I went, no, that's fine. All right, then. No one is that attached. So,
well, I didn't know what I was doing. I think it was Taz's second game ever. I think Davy's played quite a lot, and Rich's played quite a lot.
So,
but I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that I was eventually going to quite like this character that was on paper in front of me at day one, and now I'm like, oh yeah, I get him. He's cool. And like you said, like I've tried to keep the backstory relevant to my character, but at the same time, it's not a hill that I'm going to die on if it's the choice between me having fun and sticking to the thematic rules. Well, I'm going to choose fun every time. So it's having fun within what you think. Well, for me, what my character would do, and it's kind of aligning that. If I've created like a character who goes against everything I stand for as a person,
yeah, this is kind of what we were saying before. You're not going to be able to maintain it, are you?
It's going to be a sucky playthrough because if this character doesn't embody at least some traits that I like, I like kill him.
Just
kill him off.
And also, you can't make that, like, as much as I'd like to pretend I would be able to play like an evil character, I just know that I'm just not going to be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to make those choices correctly because it's just not. It's just not.
You don't enjoy them.
I'm not. Yeah. I'm not evil, which is why I'm not like that. You know, like one of my predetermined things was something like, over a choice between money and my friends, I'll always choose money. And it's like, okay, I've got to try and think of that when I'm making these decisions. But because that is not my innate choice, I'm going to have to remind myself of that all the time and perhaps do things differently than my normal intuition or my normal choices would be.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons I tell people not to get too hung up on a lot of the stock stuff that can be provided to help flesh your characters out. Go with what you want. And if you don't know what you want, let it evolve, because all I'm looking for is stuff I can hook into. Because the one thing I will always try and do is, if we've got a long campaign, is I will hook things into your character that somewhere down the line, you're going to run into someone from your past, you're going to run into something that's going to be important to you, and there's going to be a whole side quest to deal with that. That's one of the things I really like, is to personalise the campaign to each of the players. Everybody gets their moment when they're the star of the show for a couple of episodes. So that's kind of what I want. So I don't need a 20-page backstory, because A, you're never going to remember it. And B, 2 sessions down the line, you've been miles away from it. I mean, if we look at your character, Rob, yours is a half-orc paladin. So you're a religious character. They're typically, your strengths are about the undead. Then we've got Davy, who's a mushroom-addled druid, who's hell-bent on untapping the necromancing side of his class, not because he's an evil necromancer, but because he, resurrecting the dead and using that kind of stuff. So you've got 2 characters in the party who should basically hate each other because of their classes and the way they do. But that's not how our group works. And I'm not going to enforce that, because then it would break what the group does.
But you do give gentle reminders and be like, Rob, that you feel very uneasily about this. And I'm like, oh yeah, my character would. Like, almost sometimes I need reminding, because we're in the story and we get into it, and I'm not saying we like kind of act it out. But
then you're tiptoeing into LARP category, and we all know they're the real. No, I don't mean that, LARPers. I don't mean that.
Yeah, it doesn't count unless you're running around with a Robin sword.
But like you're engrossed in the story.
Yeah,
it's like reading a book.
You get invested.
And you know that it's a book through interactive form, right?
Yeah.
And you get a state, and actually, Rob, this would annoy you a little bit, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course it would. Right, I don't know how I feel about this. I need to take myself off because I really hate them, but I really like him. So I just need to go, and it brings, and again, it takes you even deeper into the story. So yeah, I'm guessing that as a DM, you're almost like a shepherd.
Yeah. I have to guide you. And I mean, there are things like, okay, he's cutting someone's toe off to keep it, and we're all fine with this. Okay, fine. But
what is David? No, don't tell me.
I love the way that you knew it was David.
Of course it's David.
Of course it's David.
So don't explain it. I don't.
But in terms of the shepherding thing, it's more a case of, you can do what you want. If you want to go around, robbing places, punching people in the face, that's fine. There are consequences to this. This is a real world. Your characters live in a real world where there are law and order and authority and stuff. If you're going to be dicks, I'm not going to punish you for
You're
it.
going to get treated like
but
this.
There's going to be reality checks for the fact that you've been dicks. And if you go around asking for potions, stuff to make poisons in the middle of a city, you're going to get some attention that's not particularly favourable, because that's not a good thing. So it's just things like, I want to poke you to say, look, just remember there is a world here and there are consequences, but if you want to do it, you crack on. But just remember that's going to come back.
So, Stu, as a well-experienced DM, what would be your advice for somebody who's planning their very first D&D session with 3 or 4 friends, and they're going to be the DM?
Don't do it. I think
I need this advice because I'm about to DM a session for my daughter. So
I think the important thing is, it just needs to be a relaxed conversation about what they're trying to get at. So the session we've just done with your 2 your friends, and then first session, I'm not going to focus on the rules a lot. I'm not going to go into depth about all the different character builds. We're going to be pretty free form. I'm going to be pretty relaxed about if I've made things too hard or too easy, so I'll just bump the scores a bit and stuff like that. People want to do stuff. I'm not going to worry too much about what kind of roles they need to make or whether that's really not something they can do. I just want to let them get into it and get a feel for it. And I think for your first sessions, you want to get a feel for the group. You want to have a conversation with them about, what do they like, what do they not like? Do they want to go around smacking stuff with a sword every 5 minutes? Fine, you can do that. Do they like stories? Do they like puzzles? Get a feel for it. and let it flow and don't worry about the rules too much. Do some prep so you're not flustered. But if they go off script, and they will.
That's the problem with there being no script, right?
Once they've gone off script, don't suddenly lose your head and go, I can't cope with this, and that's all that prep's wasted. Because it's not, because they don't know what you've got. So they might go off into the woods for 4 hours and inspect an obelisk that's really interesting. And then also they'll find a village.
Wait, what?
What? There may be an obelisk that's very interesting. I mean, the amount of time people will spend staring at chairs, it's just a chair, boys. Move on. No, I want to check the chair again. No, it's still a chair. At the end of the woods, there's a village that mysteriously would have been the village they'd have found anyway. But they don't know that.
This is a way of kind of rooting people back
you
to
don't
the path.
They don't need to see behind the curtain, but don't stress about it. Just let it flow, get a feel for it, and then you slowly tighten it up as everybody gets more comfortable with it. But if you try and learn all the rules off by heart, you'll just have a meltdown. I don't know the rules off by heart. I don't know them now. It's not my job to. I know what I need to know. And if I don't need to know it, we'll make a decision there at the table and we'll come back to it later.
Fair enough. Because you don't want that story broken, right?
No, because it's their story. Let them tell it.
That's awesome.
And just kill them later.
So, Becky, the polar reverse of that is somebody who's kind of returned to D&D, albeit being a very new player. What would your advice be to somebody who is thinking about joining or a game or about to play their first game?
Okay, so buy all the shiny dice.
That's not good advice, people.
Get a really nice dice board or dice box that you can roll your dice in.
That's not essential, people.
Yeah, and make sure that you've got really nice pens and pencils for your character sheet. Maybe get a clipboard, actually.
A pencil is a must.
Yes. In reality, I do mean all of those things I've just said, obviously. I nearly made Catherine a dice bag for it was her birthday. But I thought, no, she's got lots of bags and you don't need to make her a dice bag. But I kind of wanted to because as with everything, for me, it's all about the things I can customise or make, which is why I think D&D is really good because it's all about customising and making. That's the whole point of it all the way through. So I think try and do a bit of prep, especially if your DM has given you the source material because they're spending a lot of time for this. Don't be fucking rude.
That's fair.
Try and maybe, I'm not saying sit here and don't say in character the whole time. Yes, you're going to have a little chat. So you're probably going to make a cup of tea. That sort of thing is fine. But try and stay vaguely focused on it because they've spent a lot of time with this and they're doing it for your benefit. So benefit from it.
You must got to let yourself enjoy it, right?
Yeah. Maybe learn some. If you're completely newbie, I mean, I can't imagine this would be your first foray into D&D learning, listening to this podcast. But if it is, randomly, cool. Have a great time, guys. Maybe just learn some buzzwords. Learn what a D20 is. It's a 20-sided dice.
Everyone knows D20. It's a D10 and a D12 that I get confused with.
Learn what that means. Yeah. And a D6 is learn those words. And I think just learn some of the words, some of the buzzwords. Look at a glossary. It's going to take you 1 minute.
That's fair.
And then at least you're not going to be completely know nothing. But have fun. Yeah. Let your DM kind of guide you if you're feeling a little bit, I don't know, what would I know this thing? Don't be afraid to ask. Would my character know this? Because you don't know what you don't know. Don't forget, they're selling you the scene. If there's something important they want you to know, they'll tell you about it.
Let you know.
But they're probably not going to go, guys, there's a really important, dodgy-looking chair, whatever you guys you were talking about a minute ago. Like, they're not going to say that because that's really just too obvious. But they're going to tell you what you need to know.
That's fair. I'm guessing I've never really thought about it that way, that you are going to tell me what I need to know because you want the story to progress in not in the way that you want to, but in the way that you kind of imagine. So I guess even that, I've never really thought that. I thought you had to be really clever to be a D&D player, to play it well.
Well, I lucked out then, didn't I?
but yeah, I've proven that.
I really hope you don't.
No, because that's the things you see, isn't it? Like people making really cool decisions that
but that's because they know about the character, they know about the stuff. It probably isn't their ground zero or first episode.
They've got used to it. I mean, what you got to remember is your characters live in this world. This is their world. This is their everyday. They know stuff. They can do stuff. They trust each other, all these kind of things. You're a player. You don't know that. So I have to help you understand what your characters know and what they can do until you're more comfortable with it, until you can start shaping that narrative. But there aren't NPCs stood in the village with a glowing question mark above their head saying, quest to pick up here.
That would make it a lot easier.
And I mean, there are any number of things you can do. And like the one we've just done in the town, where the little side quest you've just done, which was mental.
It was, wasn't it?
I mean, overly complicated in a world that doesn't believe.
We've spoken about it on the pod, I think.
I know, it's just mad. But it's all that did was serve a purpose, was for you guys to get yourself in the town, meet some characters that might be important, might not be important, get your profile raised a bit, because it'll help the plot further down the line. That's the only purpose it served. But I didn't steer it. I let you guys go where you want, because you'll get what you want out of it. I know what you need to do.
Which ultimately was mental, but still, it was funny.
It's just the classic of, well, there's two clear options here. Oh, we'll go for option Z then, are we? Fine.
So with that,
but like with other games, it's the stories you tell afterwards, isn't it?
100%. And I think as a player, you just kind of got to have fun, let the story evolve, and wherever it goes, ultimately it'll go. But you're guaranteed to be able to tell somebody about the weird shit that you did in your head somewhere down the line. So yeah, thank you for that, guys. With that, I think we should move on to the next section. So with that, we'll move on to our game of the pod, which lovingly has been named Connect 4. Nothing to do with the licensed version of Connect 4, where we pick 4 cards and try to link one game that will connect them all. So your words for this episode are, I'm shuffling away, miniatures, I'm in.
Rob's already bought it.
I'm in. Oh, God. Farming, meeples, and abstract.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's just the deluxe version of Agricola, surely.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I'd never thought about this before, but you don't get many games that have got meeples and miniatures in, do you?
No, I thought of one immediately and I was like, oh, it kind of goes in with farming as well. And then abstract went and fucked it all up, didn't it?
Just for a recap, we've got abstract, meeples, farming, and miniatures.
So mine went to Scythe.
Oh,
ooh, hello.
That was good.
Because I played as the farming clan and they had tractors, which is the whole reason why I didn't enjoy the game. Well, it's not the whole reason, but it's...
You live in the West Country and you didn't enjoy playing with tractors.
Well, somebody had like an Ed 209 looking thing and I had a fucking tractor. I was like, this game's shit. I'm out. It's not shit. I admit that now.
And
but
the solo's
still,
great.
It's not my thing. But it's got meeples, it's got miniatures, and it had a farming element.
That's a clear, clear 3.
The abstract
ruined everything.
No, so
well, what's the definition of abstract? I can probably bend it.
Absolutely.
Go on.
I'm all about bending rules.
I mean, if you think about, because it's an alternative history, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, it is. I mean, Scythe is an alternative history. We've basically got a steampunk post First World War genre. You've got this mysterious factory in the middle where you can get weird upgrades.
I don't think it's abstract though, mate.
I'm going to rule it is. And if anyone's got a problem with that,
it really isn't.
Tell me on
Well,
Discord.
can I do a skill check and see if I pass?
There's no point in me even rolling, is there?
No, don't let Rob roll. Jesus Christ.
You're saving throw, no death saving throw. That's one.
Yeah, there's no kind of shapes or colours or kind of patterns for the abstract.
No, can't help you with that.
Fair enough. Any come to mind, Stu?
I can't think of any that have got abstract
knackers
and farming. Abstract and farming just doesn't link together.
So you instantly, like you said, you go to Agricola.
There's
don't
enough
you?
farming.
Or Agricola, if JP's listening to this. Drives him mad every time I say that. It's hilarious. I only say it to annoy him as well.
I mean, I'm just trying to think. Again, the miniatures can also slightly skew it, but I mean, the abstract's just... I say it depends how you're defining abstract, because abstract has a number of meanings. But
yeah, I don't think.
I mean, I'm basically
fits
paddling
in.
upstream with one leg right now. So.
Yeah, I mean, farming and meatballs.
Oh, that's
rake hold.
That's about 20.
Any Uwe
20
Rosenberg
different games.
Yeah,
most of them Uves.
Let's say miniatures don't often coalesce with meeples, do they?
No, but it's more like a deluxe version, basically.
Yeah,
where you just got
maybe.
the upgrade.
Yeah.
Miniatures are miniatures in my book.
That's what your wife says.
You're not wrong.
I think Scythe's the best we've got. With that, I can't think of
Scythe's
one.
not a bad shout.
I can't think of one
but
that
I can't get you any closer.
does any more than 2.
Yeah.
So I think you've absolutely knocked it out of the park with that one.
Cool. Well,
Let us know on Discord.
Yeah, if you've come up with a better answer on Discord, then please let us know. So with the D&D discussion over, I'd like to move on to our next section, which is a penultimate turn. So this is the section where we talk about not necessarily all things board gaming, but what we've got coming up, what we're excited to be doing in the near future. So Becky, I'll start with you. What have you got coming up that you're excited about?
I am currently at the start of a build of Rivendell.
I'm so jealous.
Out of Lego, not by Lego. Well, it's by Lego, isn't it? But out of Lego. And that's going to look really cool. And along with that, we're also going to get more Kallax. We've made the IKEA shopping list, but annoyingly, they've stopped doing the colour of the other IKEA stuff that we've already got.
Oh.
Fortunately, I've got a lot of Kallax in my hobby room, so we're just going to swap the living room one with the one in my room, which is the right colour, and then we're just going to buy more of that same colour.
Fair enough.
So that's going to have board games at the bottom, and then it's going to have the Rivendell and Barad-dûr when we make it on the top.
You still not made Barad-dûr?
No, not yet.
It is massive.
It is massive, but we did buy it like over a year ago now. I think it was Christmas.
You bought it at an airport on the way to or from somewhere, didn't you?
We did, yeah. But we didn't take it with us. We left it in the left
obviously.
luggage.
That would have been mad.
But it was our Christmas present to each other, so it is nearly a year ago and we haven't made it.
I would say that's terrible, but I've had a Lego set for about 18 months that I still haven't built.
Yeah.
So
It's not something you're going to finish in a weekend. It's a
Right, easy to put your effort in.
Yeah. Well, you may be. Well, I tend to stay in bed till midday. And I
don't move at Rob's Glacier 5-hour pace. So we're talking about.
So yeah, that's what I've got going.
Nice.
Which is nice.
Nice. Stu, what have you got coming up, mate?
I should have my Kickstarter of Nippon arriving around that time. So I'm looking forward to that. But I've also got the Ultima solo mode for Tokaido, which I want to get out and play at some stage. So that will probably come up next. And then we have our final D&D session before this holiday break.
Yes, very much looking forward to that. I've been level 5 now for 3 sessions and I haven't fought anything. So I've got now double attack.
I mean, to be fair, there have been pitched battles you just can't hit for shit.
No, to be fair, I did all right on the last one. Everything kept dying in one hit, which is nice. So, yeah, I kind of a double-hard bastard in a fantasy game. Nothing to do with my real-life character, of course. Yeah, very much looking forward to that. It'll be a good laugh. So
yeah, we've had a bit of a break. It'll be good to get back to it.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm very much looking forward to that myself.
How about you, Rob? What are you up to?
I have got a game of Apex Legends coming up, and we've always done 2v2 where each player is controlling one character. But JP said, "Oh, I'd like to get the full version." So 6 of us, 3v3. It's a game that I shouldn't enjoy, but I love it, and I get why it's had all the praise that it's had. It just works so well that skirmish games don't. Not that they don't interest me, I just never had the chance to play it, and I don't like being left to my own devices in those sorts of games. But this works really well.
Who's playing that?
I don't know who the other 6 are. Sorry,
well, JP's one.
JP's one. I think Adrian, I think Curly, but I don't know off the top of my head. So, but JP said I was hoping to get 6, and we got 6. So I said, yeah, I'll give it a go. Why not? So yeah, we got Apex Legends, and obviously our D&D session, as you mentioned. So yeah, that's what I've got coming up.
Nice.
Have you played Apex?
Nope.
Have you played it, Stu?
No, they're not games that would appeal to me. I'm not interested in miniature skirmish. And if I played it, I'd probably enjoy it. But it's the same with Elder Scrolls. I don't want to get into it.
I haven't played Elder Scrolls, but I think I would like it.
I think you probably would. I would definitely enjoy it, but I'm not going to get into it.
I think you'd love it, Becky. It's like too many bones with more story.
No, well, see, I like the silliness of Too Many Bones.
Yeah, that's
kind
true.
of just silly nonsense.
They are different games.
Yeah,
they are. They're similar design, but they are very different games.
And I don't think I want to play a game that takes multiple sit downs to play.
But now that you've played D&D with character investment and creation,
well, that's why
building.
I would only want to play. Not only, but I would prefer to play a few like one shots in a row, because then you're not thinking, okay, this is another 1,000 years of this character. Same character, but I quite like my trouble is I know what I'm like. If I have to do anything on a semi-regular basis, in my brain it becomes a chore. And then I don't want to do it. Even if I love doing the thing, when I've been in bands in the past, even though I've loved doing it, whenever the band night, I'd be like, oh, bloody band night tonight, I've got it. And I always enjoyed it. And the people I played music with, it was great, but it was a chore because it was every other Monday or whatever. And I hate it when things come like that because it's all totally in my head. I know that, but I don't ever want those things to become a chore.
That's fair. That's fair. I think there will be a one-shot mode. I can't imagine them not creating that. Where you start like level 5 or 10 or whatever it is and kind of go through that. But that's talk for another day. So with that, after calculating bonuses to rolls and victory points gained and...
Have we leveled up?
Have we leveled up, Stu?
Have you fuck?
I'd just like to say thank you for joining us. If you'd like to support us or chuck us a few quid, we are on Coffee. We'd very much appreciate the support that we get from that. It's allowed us to do some cool things and hopefully some even cooler things in the future. So come and join us on our Discord. You'll get to hear about those really cool things before anybody else, and come and speak to us and chat with us directly. We'd love to have you along. How to get in contact with us on all social media will be attached in the show notes. So please go and check that out, and please feel free to get in contact. We love our interactions with the members of the group. And just thank you for being part of our gaming group. We absolutely love it. So with that being said, whose dice roll was it anyway?
Not yours.
Yeah, I'm not letting you do it.